girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got my second Phylida in. This one's a pilot's watch. It's called the Phylida Spitfire. Looks pretty cool. I managed to get this one on eBay. I paid £35 for the watch and £5 postage, so £40 all in. It runs a Miyota movement, Sapphire Crystal, nice finishing, nice leather strap. And I think it's probably worth the retail price, to be honest. You can get it with the Chinese movement, which is like a seagull movement for like 50 odd quid. And with a Miyota it's 70. And I don't want to give too much away too early. But I think given the price, I think it's still worth buying it, to be honest. I think it's a good option. Yeah, like I said, I haven't had many pilot's watches in, especially one that looks so quintessentially like a pilot's watch. I had an Austin in before. I think one other one. I'll try and leave a picture. But yeah, I quite like pilot's watches. I think they offer a bit of a mixture because I think they work quite well in a lot of situations. I think oftentimes you get decent water resistance. With this one, it's only cited as being 50, but it has got a screw down case back and it has got a screw down crown. So I probably would take it swimming personally, given the fact at the end the key elements are screwed down. But I think it works in so many different situations. A bit like a diver. Divers are my favourite style of watches. I think with pilots' watches, Flieger watches, whatever you want to call them, I think they work in a lot of situations. The only thing I would do if I could, if Phylida watched this, is ask them, what's the name about? The name is just is pretty poor, to be honest. I think they make really good watches. This is my second one I've had in. I have seen other people looking at them, and they do make good watches, but the name is shocking, to be honest. Even it's on par with some of the other names on AliExpress that are just terrible. So, but yeah, not to judge too much because the watch is good. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. But guys and girls, thank you for tuning back in. I do appreciate your support. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. It's for all intents and purposes, as I said in the intro, it's the Phylida Spitfire. It's one of the first watches I can't actually find model number 4, but it says Spitfire, so that's what I'll go with. It's definitely a Flieger style watch. Pretty generic packaging it comes in for Phylida. I'm not going to make any more gags about the name. I think I've exhausted that. But yeah, I don't really like the name, to be honest. But I bought this on eBay. I bought this for £40, including packaging. So I got a really good price on this. I think it retails for about £70 on AliExpress, and I will leave a link taking you to that. But yeah, it's a nice watch. As I said, the model numbers, I'm just going to call it the Spitfire. But yeah, inside, let's go through the specs. Inside, it's got an automatic Miyota movement, 8215 movement inside. The case material, so I've still got a sticker on the crown. The case material, fixed bezel, crown, case back, screw down case back, and the pin buckle clasp, all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness from top to bottom is 14mm. The case diameter from the 8 to the 2 is normally where I measure, is 42mm, but when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it's 46mm. The lug width, probably unsurprisingly given the size of the watch, is 22mm, and the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 50.5mm. The case back style, as I already alluded to, is a stainless steel and it's screwed down, completely sterile, but I'll come to that in a bit. That's pretty common with Phylida. It's got a fixed high polished bezel, and the crown is sterile. Obviously got a sticker on there, but it is a sterile crown, and it is a screw down crown. The knurling on it is done pretty good. It's quite easy to interact with, to screw it and unscrew it. The strap on it is a leather strap, and it actually feels really decent, to be honest. It's creased up a little bit from where it's been in the box, but I haven't worn it. Apart from very briefly, had a quick look over the watch and stuff just so I can get a gauge for what I like and what I don't like. But yeah, the leather strap is very, very nice, and the pin buckle clasp is actually done really well. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's very angular and it's finished really, really nicely. Not a big fan of pin buckle clasp, but this one is done pretty well, to be quite honest. The crystal covering that dial is a domed sapphire crystal. You can see it distorts as you move it around. I can't see any AR coating on it, so I'm not sure it's got any, but it's definitely a bit of sapphire crystal because I tested it. The water resistance on this watch is 50 meters, so 5 atmospheres of water resistance, And the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's in around 91 grams, give or take, which is a pretty decent bit of heft given the fact that it's on a leather strap. But let's have a look at the dial. Very quintessential Flieger type style watch. So what you have is you've got, it looks like it's painted on the dial. You've got the triangle with the 2 dots either side up at the 12. You've got a minute track going around, slightly larger markings for each hour. And then you've got 1 through to 11 marked up. Also loomed. You've got Phylida just below the triangle at the 12 o'clock, automatic just above the 6, down in that direction. You've also got a cutout for the date window, just where the 3 o'clock is, so it doesn't have a number 3. But so they probably could have included that, but they haven't. But as I say, where it's a Miyota movement, there's no hacking and hand winding. Excuse me, there is hacking. There's no hacking. There is hand winding. We'll start again. So you can charge it up by turning it, but if you take the crown out, it makes absolutely no difference. And you put it into the first position, and you can change the date if you put it into the first position, that is. And there you go. I'll just scroll back through to the, and I'm gonna get a stick for doing it where the time is, but yeah, it's fine. So yeah, go through to 17 because that's the date for today, and then I'll put it back in. Pretty primitive movement, the 8000 series Miyotas. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I'm not a huge fan, but I did get this for a really good price in the sense that I got it for £40 to my door. Sapphire Crystal, Flieger type watch for that sort of price. I don't think you can grumble. But let me pop it on the wrist quickly. As I've said before, my wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist, so it's probably a 7.25. And the issue that is going to be with this is for me to get a good fit. I'll leave it there for now, but I can get it down to the last hole on it. So if you've got a slightly smaller wrist than mine, you might have problems it fitting. But let's get it off. Feels comfortable, I will say, and it doesn't wear too big, even though it's quite a big watch. But that will take me on to the things I think are pants and Pukka, as we always do. We'll start with pants. I think the overall size is a bit big. Some people might like it to be 42, but I would like it to have been maybe a mil or two smaller. The movement inside, another problem. You can't see it obviously because it's not an exhibition case back, but I don't like the fact that it's a Miyota movement inside. They do give you an option to buy it with a seagull movement, and I probably would have opted for the seagull had I bought this directly from Phylida. Not only because it's cheaper, but I just prefer the movements personally. And also the unsigned elements, which it seems to be a theme that with what you get with Phylida. No sign crown, no sign on the clasp, no sign on the case back. Like I said, they put it on the dial. Not that I'm a big fan of the name Phylida, by no stretch of the imagination. I think it's a pretty poor name, to be honest. They do produce pretty good watches for the price, so I think that's their redeeming feature. But yeah, not the best. So to surmise, I'd go with the size of the case. I would go with the movement inside, and I'd go also with the unsigned elements for what I think is pants. Moving on to what I think is Pukka, I would go with this dome Sapphire Crystal. Sapphire Crystal is always going to be good by me. As you know, I'm a bit of a Sapphire Crystal snob. We've got the leather strap, very nice quality. Feels soft, but also substantial enough to probably go for quite a long time. The pin buckle clasp, which is probably going to be a bit of a surprise, but when it's done like this and it's machined as it is, I do like that. It's got transition from brushing and polishing on the clasp as well. Very nice. And also just a general finish in terms of the brushing. It's got a chamfered edge there, high polish. But it's generally quite polished and brushed. It's done very nicely. You've got transitions from where it goes from the bezel where it's polished, back to brush, back to polish for the chamfered edge. And it's done really well for the price, to be honest, in terms of the general finishing. So I'd go with the Sapphire Crystal, the leather strap, the pin buckle clasp, and the general finishing of this watch. Would I recommend this watch? So given the fact that it seems to be appealing to slightly larger wrists, so sort of a 7 7.25 upwards, I think given that obviously you can have a slightly larger wrist, I think this watch could be definitely a good one for you. As long as you don't mind it not having hacking, I think the specs of it in terms of the Sapphire Crystal, you can still get an automatic movement, nice finishing, nice leather strap. I think it's a definite winner, to be honest. I think they do cut a few different colour variations in terms of the dial, but this one's got the black dial with the green sort of painted on numerals and miniaturac and stuff. And I think it looks very nice. The loom's pretty decent as well. Nothing great. Nothing to say it's Pukka, but it's decent. Very legible. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend this watch. But guys, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And yeah, just any other questions you may have, and I'll always get back to you. But thank you for tuning back in. And as I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the best.